What up, man? It's your man, Mr. Martin 45, back with another video, man. In today's video, we're looking at updating the speakers in the Corvette. So, as y'all know, I've been dedicating most of my time into restoring the C4. Haven't really been doing anything else to the Durango. So, with that being said, I've actually changed out all of the speakers, which I say all of them, like they just had a bunch in there, but changed out the 5.5s that were in there, the ones that were in the back, and the ones that were in the doors. So ones I'm focusing on today are the ones in the back. All right, so this is what we decided to go with. We went some Pioneers, both in the rear and in the doors, which at the time, man, I didn't know that they were 5-inch speakers. So I ended up buying some speakers off of Amazon that said that they would fit. They were 4 inches, didn't fit. So I got these, and these came with 6.5s. And again, finally realized that they were 5-inch speakers, or 5.5s and not 6.5. So decided to just change all of them. Waiting on my other emblem to come, because the emblem that I used on there, of course, is the emblem, one of the emblems that I had to go on the hood. Of course, that's my hood emblem, which you can, from what I've been told, you can tell those apart by the slight bend in it. The other one is more or less just straight across, and that's the one that goes on the field door. So went with 6x9's back here, 6.5s in the doors, and then put those 4-inch speakers in the dash. So pretty much, man, all I did was use the templates from the factory speakers back there, and, or should I say, use the templates, use the speaker covers to make my templates back there, to make sure all my screws would line up, all that good stuff. So I use these, just pretty much laid them over my wood, line my speakers up, of course cut this out, which when I initially did it, it was just this piece here. I didn't have this included on there, so it would have just been these two holes, and of course those two, and it would have basically just been this part. But I noticed on that they had the extra screws in there, so I just went ahead and made it just a little bit longer, which I probably just could have went with that, because I plan on changing out all my carpet. So don't mind the carpet back here. Like I said, it's, can't really say never been changed, because what I noticed is there are 2 sets of carpet back here. So whoever had the car before my pops actually bought it, they just basically went over the top of the carpet that was already in here. So don't mind the stuff that's in here. So they went over the top of the carpet, which I took this side out already, but they just basically laid this carpet and sprayed, basically left the old carpet in there, sprayed spray adhesive over the top of it, and then just attached this carpet over the top of it, which you can kind of see how this side is kind of puffed up a little bit more. But again, waiting on my other emblem to come in, so that way I can put that same emblem on that side. I just thought that would look a little weird with it just having all that extra space and not have anything there. Before I added the extra space there, it probably would have looked decent without all of the extra space and without putting the emblem there, but I thought that added a little bit of extra flavor to it. So just lining these up now, and of course how I'm running this wire, if anybody has a C4, you know what I'm talking about, but for you, those of you who don't, these cars that came with the Bose system, there was an amp on each speaker, and you basically had to replace all of that if you wanted sound to go through there. So I basically pulled that entire setup out of here. So pulled that box amp, which all of that is kind of mounted in together, In the doors, which I'll include in a later video, I didn't pull those, which I'll show you why in that video, because that's a whole nother monster within itself. But pulled all of that, and it basically leaves a compartment in there. So that compartment kind of acts as a speaker box, if you will. So it'll basically force the sound from these 6x9's into that hole, which they sound pretty decent. But I still plan on going with, right now I'm leaning with 2 8s, and I think we're going to have, don't mind the mess back here, and my headlight cover. I've actually been messing with that, which again, later video. Anyway, I plan on going with a, let me see if I can hang this light up here. Going with a, getting a box built and maybe putting my 2 8s back here. But I don't want to take up too much space, you know, just in case I still want to use my storage compartments, which I've seen some guys actually use their storage compartments and turn them into speaker boxes, which just, you know, have your box built inside that speaker compartment, remove that door. Don't know if I'm gonna go that route yet, but how I envision it right now is just want to have a box built across here, maybe put my 2 8s in there and figure out where exactly I'm gonna mount my amps, which I may put those off in the storage compartment. But how I'm running it right now is, like I said, when I took all of the factory stuff out, amp and all that stuff, I just basically ran my wires up, which you can kind of see those there for the time being, which again, I'm in the process of pulling seats, carpet, and all of this stuff, which I actually found a guy on eBay that has a decent price set on the full set of carpet, which will replace all of this back here, the carpet up in the front, as well as the stuff that goes on the doors. Majority of the people who are selling stuff on there is at like $600-700. Wasn't really gonna pay that. I was actually looking at getting some different carpet and putting that in here instead of going that route. So, but now that I found him on there, like I said, replacing all of this carpet, I plan on getting something to kind of cover these seats, which they're not in bad shape, especially the passenger seat. The driver's seat is just a little bit faded, but there really isn't much, you know, cracking, peeling, all that other kind of stuff. If you have leather seats, you know what I'm talking about. But also the motors in these seats are kind of shot. So the driver moves, the passenger not so much. So I'm trying to figure that out as well. See if I want to change all of that stuff or just go with different seats altogether. Also looking to, I can get this on in there. How much light I got? Change out the center console, which I think I'm going to have a custom one built, just based on the fact of changing out some of this stuff in here. It's kind of cracked along where the console lid goes. So I just checked in replacing those pieces and the console lid, and that's almost $450-500, which I want to say the side pieces that run along the driver's seat and the passenger seat are about $275-280, and then the lid is like another 200 and some change. So I'm like, why not, you know, get something custom in here? Especially being that I kind of want to go with a larger cup holder. Any of you that know, cup holders are kind of small. It's like they were designed to hold drinks the size of Coke cans. Again, it being an 88, or the 80s, shall I say. If you have a bigger drink in there, which has been times that I've gone to Sonic, of course, gotten a larger drink, and then when you go to pull off, you hit your accelerator again. Torque on these are a little bit higher, so of course you don't have to hit the gas extremely hard and your drink goes falling over. So want to get those changed out, even though I bought my bezel pieces in here, or replace some of my interior pieces. So this piece here, I got this piece new. Of course, my bezel piece that goes around my stereo, which I'm still debating on if I'm going to leave this stereo in here or go with a single DIN, you know, a fold out screen. Of course, remove my bread box. I'll be putting a delete in there. Didn't really like how that looked, to each his own, because some people would rather have that in here. I've had a little bit of a debate in some of the forums that I'm in where guys are like, well, hey, that was, you know, part of the look back then. Just like, that's cool and all, but just, you know, you got a different taste. Some people have different tastes than others. Others would completely want to stay factory. As far as how I see my cars, I've always customized my cars to my liking, regardless of what year they are. Like, you know, the Durango being a 2016, still had to do something to it. You know, some people who are true to form and want to keep their cars the way that they were when they were designed, the way they were built. Like I have, I want to say these are 16, the factory rims and tires, which people are cool with running these, and they, you know, talk about the ride quality, all that good stuff. So factory rims that I have on here, of course, they're 16s. Some people are cool with that. I decided to go bigger, which again, later video, decided to go bigger, which I'll eventually end up picking those up. I actually decided on which ones I'm going with, and like I said, later video. Outside of that, like I said, working on the motor's pretty much tight. A few odds and ends that I still have to do as far as heating and cooling goes, get that stuff situated, which I don't know if it's my controller or the actual climate control module, which again, thought I fixed it, all my buttons and all that stuff is working. So that may not be the problem, could still be the problem, or that controller. So still got to figure that out. Like I said, completely messing with the interior as it is now, which, yeah, slight look at that, which it's not much to be looked at because I've taken a lot of this stuff out of here. So again, door panels out. Like I said, seat's not in just super bad shape, but you know, there's some discoloration somewhere. The driver's seat, the passenger seat, not so much. Excuse my mess. Like I said, I'm in the process of pulling a lot of this stuff, but like I said, the passenger seat, not so much. Again, door panel out. Like I said, about to pull on my carpet, taking this center console out of here and finishing up a lot of the breaking down of everything. Like I said, plan on changing out all of my weather stripping. So I'll be pulling all of this stuff, as well as going around the entire car, pulling my belt molding here. So a lot of this I'll be reusing and of course getting repainted, except for this molding here, which again, you see how there's been some silicone put in there. So I'll be replacing this piece, but all the rest of it is still in pretty decent shape. So I'll be pulling all of that. That'll be getting repainted when I get the car repainted. I also have to get the molding that goes back here. I want to say that was maybe 150 bucks for all three pieces. The pieces that go on the sides, and then this piece that runs back here. The one that was originally in here cracked, so I already got rid of that. And with my door panels over here, don't mind the mess. I'm doing some work in here, people. How I am doing these, which of course this is my passenger, it's not in bad shape. So of course I'm gonna change my felts in here, my outside and my inside. And then I'll be ordering new dye here pretty soon so I can re-dye this. Of course, be masking all of this up, but re-dyeing the top and then putting some more material on the bottom to get back on that process, as well as the driver's side door. Now the dilemma I have with the driver's side is this here. All of this is coming loose. So if I can get this situated and get this fixed, then I'll just re-dye this side, pull my carpet down here at the bottom and have this redone as well. But also checked the price of the molding that goes to the top of these door panels, that's like another 200 bucks. So I'm like, why not just take it somewhere, have somebody completely redo it? Now they really have to worry about it as far as getting that part fixed or just ordering that part and then still having to, you know, install it. So working on a lot of stuff. The rain coming down outside. I just came from the car wash, which I was just kind of knocking the dirt off of there anyway. Some of the salt from the weather that we've had here. But yeah, man, outside of that, like I said, running my wires up there, which I'll be hiding those here pretty soon, running those up under the carpet. Another thing that I plan on doing is once I pull all my carpet, which some of you guys have done, is running the sound deadening. Because all of my plastic that was on here up under the door panel, all of that stuff was kind of cracking and super old. So to try to make it a little bit quieter in here in the cabin, I am going to run some of that along this door panel and then of course on the floors of the car once I pull out my carpet before I put the new carpet back in there. Also plan on pulling my dash back out again and maybe throwing some more material on there because I don't really like how it came out around my defroster. So I'll be redoing that over. But other than that, man, everything else is coming together. Get the dash all working, everything is working like it's supposed to. Of course, got to get all that stuff back in there to get that bezel piece back in there. And of course, stereo I have in there for the time being. A lot of people say, man, that's way too big to have in there. You're covering up stuff, which, again, when it comes to climate control, I can still reach all of that stuff down here as need be. Like I said, have some of these wires still hanging out for right now, making sure my sound is good, and also running a few extra wires. I guess when I took it out and put it back in before, I had installed a backup camera and the RCA jack that goes into the back of the stereo to give me a video output actually broke, so I have to replace that and get my backup camera back installed. So, but like I said, still debating on if I'm going to keep this in here or if I'm going to go with a 7-inch to be able to bolt that in here and have it look a little bit cleaner, if you would. Because I mean, this works, and of course I have all my apps and all that good stuff on there, your Netflix, your live TV, and of course YouTube, all that good stuff on here. But the sound quality isn't just all around the best. But again, you know, one of them things you get what you pay for. So still debating on this. I'll have an updated video on whether or not I use this or not. Also, like I said, still have to order my breadbox delete, which I'll probably be ordering that here hopefully today or sometime here pretty soon. Getting that in here. But we're coming along, man. Also, in the future, which some people will say, well, man, you probably should do that before, you know, you get the car painted, before you do this, before you do that. But that entails a whole lot more stuff. I want to say maybe around next year, maybe year and a half. I'm actually looking at an LS3 that I plan on putting in here. So probably do that after, because again, I'm only at right at 121,000 miles. I mean, the motor's not hurting that much, especially with the work that I've done on it so far with pulling old fuel injectors, EGR valve, completely pretty much rebuilding the distributor, changed the distributor cap, rotor, engine control module or ignition control module, and the what's the other part that goes in there? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm pulling a blank right now. But anyway, everything in the distributor cap. Changed that. Of course, did a tune-up on it. Changed plugs, wires. Looked at a lot of the vacuum lines. Thunder and lightning. Anyway, changed a lot of that stuff. Next project, turn this key off, that I looked at doing, because I'm starting to have issues with my brakes, and they're a little bit hard to, I mean, they still work, but it's a little bit hard to press. Plus, there's a little bit of a vacuum leak that you kind of get from up under there, so I plan on changing the master cylinder out of there. No, not the master cylinder. I think I'm gonna leave the master cylinder. I think it's a brake booster I gotta change. So plan on getting up under there, pulling all of that, getting that changed. That's one of the next up projects, being that I have everything pretty well together as far as the audio is concerned. Outside of getting my other emblem and getting that put back there in the back. Run the rest of my wires once I pull my carpet and all of that. Got my wires ran in my doors, so I had to run those wires through my little plastic boot and get those ran up under the dash, and therefore you didn't have wire hanging out, because I ran new wire to everything. Again, having to deal with the Bose setup and having to pull all of that, like I said, another video for the door speakers, because that's a whole nother subject. As far as the dash speakers go, there were no holes and no spaces for dash speakers to go, even though I put them in there anyway. Like I said, I made my own template and put 4-inch speakers in the dash. But again, just pretty much just wired those, ran those to the center, and then dropped them down and then hooked those up. But with having 6 speakers in here, I'm actually running the dash and the door speakers together for right now, which I plan on running 2 amps. Again, running the 6x9's in the back, the 6.5's and the 4's to 1 amp, and then having another amp control and run my subs when I put those in here. Still trying to determine that on, again, if I'm gonna have a box built or I'm gonna use my storage compartment. So I still need a place to mount my amps and all that good stuff. So still trying to figure that out. Outside of that, man, we're just about done. I thought I was gonna have everything done by car show season this year, but it may be next summer, just because I want everything to be right. Especially being, like I said, I plan on changing out all my weather stripping, whether it be around the doors, around the target top, around the molding on the sides of the doors, or the molding back around the hatch. So I'm changing all of that, changing all the carpet. It's a few other things I still got to do under the hood, and then of course the windshield wipers. Those look like they've been on here the entire life of the car. Not the actual wipers themselves, but the ones that are attached to the car. So I'll either get those replaced or get them sprayed or something. So there's that. Man, outside of that, also been at changing my rear view mirror. This thing is a little old too. You can see how it looks, all of that in there. But yeah, may change all of that out. Yeah, man, just giving y'all a quick update. Also, which I may be ordering today as well. Like I said, I wrapped my steering wheel because the guy who had it, again, before my dad bought it, had electrical tape around the top of the steering wheel because the material was coming off. Pops just put a steering wheel cover over it and kind of ran with that. How I did it was just got this cover and had to lace it around, which it kind of did the job for the time being. But I plan on changing the steering wheel as well. Already found my steering wheel that I'm going with, and my horn button, which I'll update y'all to that in the next video too. Pretty much put my own spin on a little bit of everything, man. Like I said, the steering wheel will be changed out all my speakers, replacing all the carpet in here, doing something to the seats, eventually doing something to motor transmission, rear end, all of that good stuff. And like I've heard before, why don't you just go with a C5 or a C6? It already has it out. I don't like that body style, man. There's a couple different reasons why I'm going with a C4. One, I like the body style. Two, it was my dad's car, so there's sentimental value there. So what are you gonna do? Just as some people would say, and they talk about, people who build, box Chevys or Cutlasses, Grand Nationals, you name it. Like, they have a thing for those cars and those body styles. It's not about, buying something that will require much less work. For us who actually turn the wrenches and are actually building a lot of this stuff ourselves, we actually kind of prefer that. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong, you have the cheese to, you know what I mean? You have the money to go, you know, buy a car or take your car to someone and paying somebody else to do all of the work. Hey, by all means, like, you know, I'm all for that as well. But I always kind of looked at it as, if it's something that I can do myself, that's money I can put in my pocket and actually, you know, reallocate to something else. I can get something else done, order this other part, do this other part of the car. You feel what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, with that being said, this is gonna wrap up another video, man. Like I said, I'll probably keep these rims and tires for colder season, but yeah, we definitely going a little bit bigger than the 16, man. So, just giving y'all another update. Again, man, if y'all got questions on setup that I have back here, what I decided to go with is 6x9's. Jump in the comments, continue to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And again, if y'all have questions on how I did, what I used, all that good stuff, hit me up, man. Also, I'll be throwing the links to my social media in here. I'll also drop them in the description, but y'all can also reach me here if y'all have any questions, not only over this, but you know, anything that y'all seen on the Durango, which there's no Durango in this video, but any questions that y'all have on any work that I've done, man, jump in the comments, let me know. Again, got another giveaway coming up here pretty soon. Y'all also jump in the comments, let me know stuff that y'all be interested in as far as the giveaways are concerned. So be doing one of them real soon. But until the next video, man, appreciate y'all. Peace.